You can put that in the plate that it's ready to go. Okay? All right, so I'm going to show you a little bit, which is we're going to use this one for our garnish as well, which is very, very important. I think the pan is still hot, so we can go ahead and fry that up. As you can see, it's magic, yeah? It's not in the stove, but it still can cook it. All right, that's good. All right, so also, ladies and gentlemen, I have here just a little extra, which is the vegetables, which is you can learn something. Ladies and gentlemen, when you buy something in a supermarket, which is actually I get three kinds of vegetables in here, which is we call this a trio of vegetables. That must be enough. So we're going to use this one later for our garnish, which is I'm going to show you how it's going to work. So we're just going to set this on the side. Okay, we're just going to set this on the side. It's very, very, very good. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I prepare also some nice turned carrots. Nice turned carrots. And at the same time, some nice white radish as well. What I do with it, I want to just peel them up. Yeah? Then I go ahead, steam them, or you can do blanching as well. Okay? When it's nice and soft, that's ready to go. You can cook it right away. You can just all you need to do is just gonna sweat up some nice white onion as well, so that's gonna give you a nice flavor. And also, ladies and gentlemen, I have here pieces of asparagus. Yeah, you guys, sometimes when you buy some asparagus in the supermarket, because the end cut of those is a hard one. You guys, I know that you cut them and throw them away. Yeah, that's true. So don't do that this time. All you need to do is just you need to peel them up from the inside of those, which is the hard one, because from the inside it's nice and soft, so you still can eat it. Okay, you can save a little something actually. Okay, and also if you have a restaurant back home, you have some recipe at you have some menu as well that there's asparagus, so you learn a little something from me. Okay, if you have some restaurant, maybe some of you have a restaurant back home, all you need to do is just to listen what I said, just peel them up. So that at the same time you save a little something. Okay? That's good. All right, what I'm going to do with that one, I'm just going to sweat up just a little bit of a white onion. Just a little bit. So that we can make it nice and golden brown. Then we can go ahead and sweat that up. Then we can go ahead for the plating, for the appetizer plating. There we go. All right, so we're going to take another pan. We're just going to sweat that up. Okay, all we need to do, we're going to put just a little bit of butter in the pan so that we're just going to melt that up, ladies and gentlemen, so that we can have a real nice flavor as well for the vegetables. Okay. Then also, we're going to reduce just a little bit of those, the sauce, which is tomato. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and reduce that up. Okay, so we're just going to cut them finely nice, Julian, as well. And also, ladies and gentlemen, I have here a little extra, which is I'm going to put in the plate. Actually, this is, we call this balsamic vinegar, which is I use always. This is very, very useful, actually. Balsamic vinegar, is the ratio of balsamic vinegar is 3 glasses of balsamic vinegar, just a half cup of sugar, white sugar, yeah? Then what do you do with that one? You're just going to bring them to reduce, 180 degrees, 15 to 20 minutes, yeah? When it's nice and reduced, then you can go and set this on the side. It's going to be, looks like syrupy. You're just going to set this on the side. You have to let it cool down. Yeah. Then you can put this in a bowl, same like what I have over here, and it's very, very useful. You can use this always for your salad, and at the same time, you can do this as well for the plating, which is very, very good. I'm going to show you how it's going to work for the plating today. All right. Okay. So the butter is nice and melted. Then we can go ahead, drop the white onion in there, which is we're just going to make it nice and golden brown, so that we can have a really nice flavor as well for the vegetables. All right. There we go. So meanwhile, the sauce is also reducing, ladies and gentlemen. Then we can go ahead for the plating for that one. All right. So we're going to go ahead, mix up all those vegetables over there. And just a little touch of season. There we go. All right. Oh, my head is already sweating. It's a little bit hot in here because all the stove is working, so it's a little bit hot. Whoop. All right, that's ready to go. It's very hot in here actually because you see the stove is all open, so see my head is already sweating. Okay, what I'm gonna do now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna go ahead with the plating, and also we can add also just a little extra, which is some garnish as well. All right, so we're gonna go ahead with the plating now, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, to make the plating, it's difficult actually because some chefs does that. They have a lot of stuff to put in a plate, but they don't know how to arrange it. Yeah, but what I'm gonna do is always is maybe you all know who is Mr. Todd English. Yeah, Mr. Todd English is a very very famous man. He's a chef of the world. He's actually a celebrity chef. We bought his name in the ship. All the menus of Mr. Todd English is in the Todd English restaurant we have over there. So if you like to have a dinner to try the Todd English cuisine, you can just try to book it at Todd English restaurant, which is a really really good food actually, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we go ahead. Put the fish cake on the side over there. Actually, I'm just gonna make a nice presentation for my fish cake over here, and also we can add also just a little extra vegetables on the side over here. Actually, to make the plating is not that easy because some chefs does sometimes that they just putting a lot of stuff in the plate. They don't know how to arrange it. That's why when you make some plating, sometimes you have to give love on it. Yeah, you have to give love so that at the same time your plate is gonna be looks elegant at the same time. Okay, so we go ahead put also one piece of those asparagus so that at the same time it's gonna give you a nice combination, which is gonna be looks trio combination, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so we can go ahead also touch a little bit of those balsamic vinegar, ladies and gentlemen. This is told you that you can use as well for the salad, and at the same time you can use as well for the plating, which is very very good for the plating. So I'm going to show you how it's going to work. As you can see, the plating is really really good if you put some balsamic vinegar in there, and also at the same time we can add also just a little bit of a sauce in there, which is a reduction of a tomato. I'm just going to put a little bit on the side over there. Actually, when I make some plating, as always, I'm just putting a small amount of sauce, and then I always ask my guests that if you want a little extra of sauce, just tell the waiter so that we're going to give you more sauce. But all I want for the plating is just an elegant plating. So I'm just going to show you how it's going to work out. Then if you want some more, just tell the waiter I'm going to give you more. All right? Then we can go ahead and also just put a little bit of those extra as well, which is a garnish of a scallion, which is a well-known as a spring onion, also ladies and gentlemen. We're just going to cut that finely nice julienne as well. We're going to put this on top of those. At the same time, we can add also some of this tomato, which is the skin of those, the sauce. All right. But I think I'm going to make a little bit more extra of those. So we're just going to... Who knows how to make the flour, actually, ladies and gentlemen? Who knows how to make the flour, which is a tomato flour? Nobody knows. So I'm going to show you today how it's going to work. So we're going to put a little extra in there, which is tomato flour. Actually, they call me as a creative chef because I always create something, which is if I do a dessert today, I'm going to show you like a real Christmas tree dessert. But it's going to be too late when I'm going to do that in here because I have no preparation because, we're supposed to be two in here, but one of my partners got his finger last night. So I'm going to do it alone. So I'm just going to make only 2 courses. But I really love today because today is a little bit crowded. So I really love it. So what I'm going to do with this one, I'm just going to cut them really fine. But ladies and gentlemen, actually when you make something like this, you must have a really sharp knife so that at the same time you can cut it nice and easy. But if you're going to cut them off, you cannot make a nice flour. Okay, so we're just going to make it nice and slow. There we go. It must have a really thin cut so that at the same time you can get a nice flour. When it's nice and longer, the more it's longer, it's going to give you a nice flour at the same time, ladies and gentlemen. All Any one of you knows about the chef's galley? No one yet, huh? Some of you only, but actually, chef's galley, uh, you can just pound it in your cabin, only in the reservation. But some guests does that sometimes. Before they go home, they just find out that, oh, we have chef's galley in here. Why we don't know about these things? That we serve dinner in here, which usually we serve only breakfast and lunch. At the same time, the dinner. But you can find only the reservation for the dinner is only in your cabin. Okay? All right, so what I'm going to do with this one, as you can see, nice and long, ladies and gentlemen, nice and long. Yeah? What I'm going to do with this one, I'm just going to roll it up so that we can have a real nice flower. Okay. Actually, when I'm going to make it like this, you cannot follow what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to make it in front of you like this one. It's very easy, actually. But when you get it nice and done, it's very beautiful. As you can see, beautiful flowers from here. Yeah. Beautiful flowers. Thank you. So what I'm going to do with the one, I'm just going to cut it out. Okay, then we can go ahead, put this one in the plate on the side over here. As you can see, the plating is just elegant, ladies and gentlemen. It's just elegant. Even a small amount of the plate, but it's elegant, it's going to be looks expensive then. Okay? All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this is my first course appetizer, main crab cake. Thank you. All right, so we go ahead for our main course, which is a rack of lamb, ladies and gentlemen. All right, some of you eating lamb? Wow. All right, so I eat lamb also, which is I love also to eat lamb, which is curry as well, which is because I love to eat spicy. So I'm gonna go ahead to make some nice lamb for you, which is I'm gonna use a rack of lamb. Oh, I'm sweating. It's so hot over here. As you can see, my heart is getting sweat. I should take some extra hot next time. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I have here a nice piece of a rack of lamb. What I'm going to do with this one, and also, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk to you about a little something which is very, very important as well. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be very important for you when you buy some meat in the supermarket, yeah? Because you guys sometimes when you buy some meat, you're just like picking up in the freezer and put it in your trolley and then go ahead and make a sure, pay it. Don't do that. This time you need to learn a little something when you buy some meat in the supermarket. Please make sure that you need to check out the plastic, yeah? Because sometimes the plastic has some blood coming out from the meat. Goes down underneath of the plastic. Yeah, don't buy them. It means that's the old one. You know what? The one you need to buy is the dry one, which is there's no blood coming out from the meat. Goes down underneath of the plastic. Because for sure, they still have a lot of moisture from the inside. So that's the one you need to buy. Especially those lamb chops, ribeye steak, sirloin steak, which is a thin portion. So that's actually the thin portion. It's very easy to reduce all those liquid from the inside. So that when you, as you can see, sometimes when you go ahead and start grill that up, yeah, when you grill it, there's no more moisture. So the outcome of those is getting tough. Maybe you will recognize that sometimes that you're eating tough meat. That's the one you need to buy. That's the one you buy is the moisture is already out, which is the blood. You see some blood sometimes going out from the meat underneath of the plastic. So just a little information for you. Don't buy them, okay? The one you need to buy is the dry one, okay? All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I always also actually when I make some marination back home is actually here in the ship, or if you make some marination back home, you make some party back home or barbecue party back home with your enemies or your neighbors over there, if you want to make them happy. What do you do when you make some marination back home? Actually, it's just very simple, okay? It's just very simple. What do you do with a one? Especially for the lamb, you can use also sometimes some nice fresh herbs, which is rosemary, yeah? Rosemary. Yeah, write it down, man. Write it down. It's very, very important. Write it down. And also, ladies and gentlemen, just a little touch of canola oil, okay? Just a little touch of canola oil. And the salt and pepper. The thing is very, very important here. You need to bring your ball pen so that when I say something, you can write it down, so that when you go home, when you want to cook something, you have something something common that you write something, you can follow that up. Okay, this is very simple. Salt and pepper, canola oil, and at the same time some rosemary. Okay, what I'm gonna do is always is I go an hour ahead of time, ladies and gentlemen. I go an hour ahead of time so that at the same time you can have a really nice flavor for your meat. Okay. Okay, so we're just gonna preheat some pan. All right, so we're just gonna preheat that up. Very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. You go an hour ahead of time for your marination so that you can have it nicely done, tasty, really tasty. Okay? So we're just going to preheat the pan, ladies and gentlemen. Then we can go ahead also grill that up. So we're just going to set this on the side. And also I have here just a little extra also, which is, we call this saute cherry tomato, and at the same time some nice fresh green beans as well. This is what, actually this recipe, which is you can find in the La Piazza dinner, yeah, which we have a la carte, yeah, no charge actually, no charge. So this is what you can find in the La Piazza Gali, which is an Italian kitchen, yeah. You can find it in there if we have a la carte dinner. So if you want to eat something what I have over here today, if you want to try it, you can go ahead, go to La Piazza, then they will gonna serve it to you like this. And they were going to give you a really good service in there. No charge for that, ladies and gentlemen, no charge. All we need to do here for you is to give you a white star service to make you happy as well, okay? All right, so I just cut them half, and at the same time we can mix all up all these green beans, and at the same time we're gonna chop just a little bit of a ginger as well. There we go. Ginger, sorry, it's a garlic. Sometimes I really think a lot of stuff, especially also, I got a lot of cuisine, so sometimes my mind is mixing up. You know what, sometimes I'm doing the cooking show, which is Indian cuisine. I'm talking to the guests, in front of the guests, I'm talking to them, explaining to them what is the Pan-Asian dinner. All right, so we're just going to preheat one of these pans so that we can sweat up the vegetables as well. All right, also, ladies and gentlemen, I have here a nice piece of salardaise potato. I'm going to show you how to make it nice and done. I have here a piece of a potato. What I'm going to do with the one, I'm just going to fill them up. I'm just going to fill them up so that we can slice it to the Japanese mandolin, ladies and gentlemen, so that we can have a nice, beautiful salardaise potato, which is, we're going to put this in the lamb. There we go. We're going to put this in the lamb on the side so that we can have a nice combination with the vegetables, with the cherry tomato, with the potato on the side, and at the same time, the lamb rack, which is, the rack of lamb is, actually has been marinated with a beautiful marination, which is only a very simple salt and pepper, and at the same time with rosemary. It's very simple, but it's going to give you a workout nicely as well. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I have here, we call this a Japanese mandolin. Yeah, when you use this back home, actually you need to be very careful because this is a very sharp mandolin. When you're gonna do it very rush, you're gonna lose your finger. Okay, so you all you need to do, you just gonna push it upside down very slowly. Otherwise, you're gonna lose your nails, and at the same time, you might lose your finger as well. So you have to be very careful. Okay. All right. All right. So I'm just going to show you a little bit how it's going to work because I have ready to go at the back. So this one, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to go ahead. You're going to go ahead, put this one in the pan, and at the same time, we're going to use also some greased pepper so that it's not going to stick. Yeah. All right. What I'm going to do, what I'm going to do with this one, I'm just going to layer it up nicely. Then we can go ahead, drop some truffle in there, truffle and some truffle oil, and at the same time some butter. So that's going to give you a nice binding. This is what I do with this one. I just go ahead, layer that up. Yeah. We're just going to go ahead, layer that up. Then we're just gonna drop a little bit of those truffle oil, black truffle, and a little bit of a butter as well. Actually, I'm going to explain to you how it's gonna work for the truffle as well. Actually, ladies and gentlemen, okay, that's gonna work like that. Then also we're gonna put also some of those we call this a truffle. Actually, I'm just gonna chop it up. Actually, ladies and gentlemen, we have three kinds of truffle actually, which is the black truffle, which is you can find only in the summertime. Yeah, only in the summertime. What we have also is a white truffle. Sometimes we have it on board, but we didn't use it as always because the black truffle is a very, very good flavor. So this is what we use. A white truffle, which is you can find only in the winter time. Yeah, and what we have also is a ready-made truffle, which is a truffle oil. Yeah, which is a very strong aroma flavor. Okay, what I do with this one is just gonna go ahead chop that up. Then we can mix it all up together with the potato. Then we're just gonna touch a little bit of butter so that it's gonna give you a nice flavor, and at the same time it's gonna give you a nice binding at the same time. So we're gonna go ahead mix this all up together. Actually, if you want to make more, you can fill up those potatoes in the pan. Then I'm gonna show you how it's gonna work in the oven. Beautiful. Is that it? All right. Actually, we used to have the camera in front of here to make the plating, but I think the camera is broken up there. So the broadcast manager is going to run up there. Yeah, sometimes he's scrolling up there to fix that up, but I think he's afraid now because one day he's filling up here in the floor, and he broke his leg. Now just kidding, he's watching over there. All right. So we go ahead, drop a little bit of those truffle oil to give you a nice aroma. As you see, he's saying something up there. He said, "I'm fine." All right. Then we can go ahead, drop a little bit of those butter as well, which is I'm supposed to melt this butter, but we can go ahead also put a little bit of those butter on top, because when you go ahead put this one in the oven, it's gonna melt it up anyway. So you can go ahead put this one at the back. At the top. There we go. And also just a little touch of the seasoning, just a little touch. There we go. All right, then you can go ahead, put them in the oven for slow cooking, ladies and gentlemen. You can go ahead, 145 degrees, yeah, 30 minutes. When it's nice and golden brown, then it's ready to go. But all you need to do is just you need to check that up. Underneath of those, when it's nice and golden brown, that it's ready to go. Okay? So we're just going to set this on the side of the ready to go. Okay, I think it's the time to sweat up some nice vegetables over there. All right, so we're gonna use some nice. I have the garlic in here. All right, so we're gonna put just a little touch of those butter in the pan, so that at the same time we can sweat up the vegetables right away. There we go. Oh, it's nice and hot. All right, so also I think this pan is nice and hot as well. Then we can go ahead also cook some nice lamb in there, which is a rack of lamb. Okay, we're going to put just a little bit of canola oil in the pan. Oh, it's very hot. Then we can go ahead and grill the lamb. All right. Okay, so we're just going to make nice and golden brown for this garlic. Then we can go ahead and drop the green beans in there. And at the same time with a nice pieces of those cherry tomato, ladies and gentlemen. All right, then we can go ahead and drop a little bit of season. Salt and pepper as always. I used to work in a Chinese restaurant as well, which is you're going to use wok like that. It's very quick, especially if you have some order. We call this what you call this Washington style. It calls Xing Tong Wa. Yeah, Xing Tong Wa. Yeah. Wow. As you can see, the color of those lamb. Actually, when you cook something that you're using the pan like this, yeah, when you're using the pan like this, make sure the pan is nice and hot. Otherwise, when you cook something in there and it's not really hot, your meat, you're going to break your meat because it's going to stick it up. Okay? It's going to stick. It must have a really hot pan. Okay? So that your meat is not going to stick in there. All right, so we're just going to make it nice and golden brown. Oh, the vegetables is nice and done as well, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So we're just going to make it nice and golden brown. Then we can go ahead and cut them. Yeah, cut them in half. At the same time, we're just going to take out the bones. The bones, we're going to cut it back again. We're going to put it back again also the meat. So that the bones, as always, we can use this for a beautiful plating as well. I always save something, you know, which is the bones. I don't use, I don't throw them away because I still can use it for my presentation at the same time. Okay? All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to make some nice sauce as well, which is the reduction of the lamb. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna explain to you a little bit of those of the stock actually, which is I haven't made last night because actually it's very, very easy to make. That's why I haven't made last night. But I'm gonna tell you how long it's gonna cook, how long it's gonna work. All right, so we're just gonna slow it up a little bit the gas. All right, that's fine. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I have here a piece of what you call is a lamb stock. What do you do when you cook something that you're gonna use lamb, or when you use some chicken or you use some beef? The same bones what you're gonna use. So today I have a lamb rack of lamb, so I use also you call this a lamb stock. Ladies and gentlemen, when you prepare something like this, first thing you need to do, you need to roast the oven, which is any kind of lamb bones. Yeah. What do? You go ahead, toast them in the oven, 250 degrees, 45 minutes. Yeah. When it's nice and golden brown, then you can go ahead, set this on the side, let it cool down, golden brown. Okay. Set this on the side, let it cool down. Then you can go ahead also prepare. This is what we call a metapois. It's a French terminology. Onions, celery, leeks, and carrots. This is a 4 basic vegetable what we use for the lamb, for the stock actually. What do you do with a one? You just cut them finely wrap. Yeah. Then you go ahead, sweat this up until it's become nice golden brown. When it's nice and golden brown, then you can add also tomato paste. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I have here a nice piece of the lamb, which is a nice and golden brown already. What I'm going to do with this one, I'm just going to cut them half, yeah? Then at the same time, also, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to set this inside of the half of those. Then what I'm going to do is, to guess. What I'm going to do with this one is I'm just going to cut this one like this one right over here. We're just going to save the meat over there on the side. And at the same time, the bones over here, which is we can use as always as a garnish as well. So we're going to go ahead, put that back in there. At the same time, the meat of the lamb. All right. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to talk to you about a little bit of those stock, which is easy to make. I think I didn't explain already to you. We're just going to sweat them up when it's nice and golden brown. Then you can go ahead, drop the tomato paste in there, which is a tomato paste is nice and red. Then you can go ahead, sweat this up when it's nice and golden brown. Then you can go ahead, drop the tomato paste in there. The tomato paste is nice and red, but when you start sweat this up, it will become nice and golden brown as well. Then you can go ahead, mix up all those bones. Yeah, you can go ahead, mix up all those bones. Then after that, when it's nice and done, then you can go ahead, drop some red wine in there. Just use the cheap red wine, yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Just use the cheap red wine. I don't want to use anything expensive. Then you can go ahead, reduce that up, yeah. When it's nice and reduced, then you can fill up the water, yeah, or even vegetable stock, ladies and gentlemen. But I don't want to use anything expensive. Just use water. You just need to fill them up. Then at the same time, you're going to reduce them from 6 to 8 hours. After 6 to 8 hours, you're going to drain them, put in a small pot. Then you're going to reduce it again from 2 to 4 hours. So it takes a long time actually to make this one, almost 10 hours reducing. But there's another way to make your cooking life easy. Yeah, you go ahead, drop by in a supermarket, pick it up in the shelves, ready to go. That's easy for you. But to tell you what, that's horrible. So that's what I don't like all the time. All right. So that's why I always use the basic way, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So we're gonna make some nice sauce today. All right, so we're just going to leave it in there. Gonna cook it nicely. Okay, we're just gonna touch a little bit of canola oil in the pan, ladies and gentlemen. Just a little touch of canola oil. At the same time, I have also prepared some nice shallots in there. The shallots is gonna give you always a nice flavor for your sauce. So we're just gonna sweat them up for a while. The pan must be really nice and hot so that we can make some nice flambe in there. All right. As you can see, the lamb is really nice and tender. This one is we're just gonna make it nice and golden brown. As always, I don't throw all these bones because at the same time I can use this as well for my presentation for the plating, so that the plating will be looks really good as well. Okay, so we're just gonna sweat this up for a while. Then also, ladies and gentlemen, actually, when you make some sauce like this, and then also when you make some, when you put some brandy or any kind of liquor, ladies and gentlemen, and if you're using gas stove as well, what do? You need to step back, ladies and gentlemen. You need to step back, otherwise you're gonna lose your eyebrow. Then I'm gonna show you how to lose your eyebrow today. No, actually, it's just have to be very careful when you're using some gas stove back home. Because actually, that's quite difficult when you use some gas stove. At the same time, your pan must be really hot. Then you can do flambe as well. Okay, so this is what I do. I go ahead put a little bit of those. Actually, he called it shallots. Just a little touch of canola oil as well. Then what do you do with that one? We just go ahead drop a little bit of those brandy, which is I'm gonna use. Actually, you can use any kind of brandy as well, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to use a Fabuloso. Sometimes I use also